Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Think CSEC. Today, we'll be looking at the CSEC Principles of Accounts, the May June 2021 paper 2. So, this exam was done in July, and so I'll be doing the first question on this paper. So if you are visiting my channel for the first time, welcome. And please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you know when part 2 is out. So give this video a thumbs up by pressing the like button. So let's get ready. Let's get into this question. It says, Anil is a debtor who owes Metro Trading $5,600 as at 30th of April 2021. The following information was extracted from the books of Metro Trading for the month of May 2021. On May 7th, sold merchandise on credit to Anil. The sales invoice is for $3,450 less 20% trade discount. So we are going to write up the debtors account of Anil. So on May 7th, we noticed that sold merchandise on credit. We noticed that this was an actual increase in value on Anil's part. And so what he said he got a discount of 20%. So we would find 20% of $3,450, and we this gives us $690. Now we would not put this discount amount in his account, is in Anil's debtors account, but what we would do, we take that 690 from that 3,450, and this would give us $2,760, and therefore this would be sales. This would represent sales on the debit side of his debtors account. And importantly, I forget to mention that on the first, we had a balance brought down. So this would be first above May 7th. So on the first, we had a balance brought down of $5,600 because that on May 1st, because it was at the last of April. Now, moving on to May 9, it says Anil settled the amount outstanding from last month of April by check after deducting a cash discount of 3%. So what do we notice here? Well, first of all, we notice that if he got a cash discount, we know that this would represent discount allowed. Now, because it was actually a reduction that he got, and it says that he was paid by check, so that we know represents bank. Now what we simply do, we find 3% of what he got at the start of from the last month, which was 5,600. So we find 3% of that, and we get $168. Now, this $168 would represent discount allowed, and so this would be on the credit side in Anil's in his debtors account. And what we would do now, what would be in bank, we would subtract that 168 from the 5,600, and we would get 5,432, and that would be on the credit side of Anil's debtors account. Let's move on to the 13th. It says sent a credit note for $360 to Anil for merchandise received on May 7th in a damaged condition. So it says in a damaged, it was sent as a credit note. So what does that indicate? That was a return inwards, right? So in Anil's account, we actually see a reduction. So we notice that is an actual return inwards. So what do we have? It says $360, and that would be on the credit side of Anil's debtors account. So sent a credit note, return inwards. No. May 15, sent a check, $230 to Anil for an overpayment made in the month of March. Now, oh, he sent a check. Now, what does that? We recognize that that was a bank refund, a check, bank refund of $230. And therefore, this would be on the debit side of Anil's debtors account. So let's see. And what we would do now, we would now have to balance off the two accounts. So let's see what is Anil's debtors account should reflect the information that we have just said. So here you have it. So we would ensure that we add up our date 2021 and what we did, all that we said in the mention above, we simply put that in Anil's debtors account and balance off his account, which is 8,590. Now we know the difference between the debit and the credit side is $2,630, and that would be is the balance carried down, and on the first it would become the balance brought down 2,630. So that's what your debtors account of Anil should look like. All right, and you'll get 8 marks for that. So let's go on to the next question. So you can always pause the video and look at it in full. So let's move on. So that's what your answer sheet would look like. My lines are not straight because I'm not using a ruler. So don't say miss. Try to find fault with that. All right, let's go to the B part. It says in the spaces provided, state the name of the ledger in which each of the 4 accounts listed below will be found. So here we have the first one, annual accredit customer. We know that would be in the sales ledger. Purchases returns, we know that goes in the general ledger. And discount allowed go in the general ledger too as well. And cash goes into the cash book, 4 marks, 1 mark for each. Let's go to the other part of the question. It says the bookkeeper extracted the following list of balances from Metro Trading's ledger 31st of May 2021. So here we have all the required information, the balances that was taken from Metro Traders trading ledger. So what they ask us to do, they say the following, and you'll see all the figures on the screen. I'm not going to read that out. So it says the following additional information is available. Notice now, the total of $5,900 in the discounts allowed column in the cash book credited to the discounts received account in the ledger, and the purchases of $4,000 made on the 31st of May 2021 had not been posted to the account. Now, so what is it that they want us to do? So they are asking us to, let's go down. They want us to use the form provided below to prepare an adjusted trial balance for Metro Trading on the 31st of May 2021. So what we're going to do is simply to provide the trial balance. Now, all what we know now is that they give us here in this detail the total of $5,000 $900 in the discounts allowed. So we know that is from the discount received, 8,500, we're going to deduct 5,900 from that, and that would give our figure that we would represent in the trial balance. Also, it said purchases of $4,000 so was made and had not been posted, so there was an undercast. So what we simply do is add that 4,000 to the purchases figure to 230,000. So in our trial balance, we would have $234,000. Um, right. So let's look at what our trial balance would be. So here we have our information. So let's put that up. So here we have our Metro Trading trial balance as at 31st of May 2021. So sales based on the information that we got is 565,870. Inventory 35,800. We know that's a debit entry. Purchases also debit entry. Sales returns we know is a debit entry as well. Trade receivables is a debit entry, right? And the carriage inwards, a debit entry. Non-current assets, that's another debit entry. Discount received would be the discount that he got, that we just work out when we deduct what he got, the $5,900 discount allowed from 8,500. We got 2,600 that represent discount received. Now the discount allowed figure is the 5,900 that was mentioned, and the trade payables that would be credited, and the bank overdraft we know that's credited too, and the bank loan also we know that's a credit balance in the trial balance. Drawings we know is a debit balance. Miscellaneous expense, that's a debit balance. Purchases returns is the same. What's the another name we call purchases returns? It's the same as return inwards. So we know that is on the credit side of our trial balance, and the capital is on the credit side. So did I say purchases returns? Let me correct that. That's also return outwards. Sorry about that. So we total our trial balance, and both sides as we know should be equal. So we got a total balance of $882,870. So this is question one, a total of 20 marks. And for the trial balance, you would have gotten 8 marks for that. So this is it. We have come to the end of question one of this paper. And you can always scroll back in the video to ensure that you get everything. So thank you so much for watching.